Good morning, everybody. It's my turn for the thought for today. And today is Psalm 2, which I'm just going to read to you now. Why did the nations conspire and the peoples plot in vain? The kings of the earth rise up and the rulers band together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, "Let us break their chains and throw off their shackles." The one enthroned in heaven laughs. The Lord scoffs at them. He rebukes them in his anger and terrifies them in his wrath, saying, "I have installed my king on Zion, my holy mountain. I will proclaim the Lord's decree." He said to me, "You are my son. Today I have become your father. Ask me, and I will make the nations your inheritance, the ends of the earth your possession. You will break them with a rod of iron. You will dash them to pieces like pottery. Therefore, you kings, be wise. Be warned, you rulers of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear and celebrate his rule with trembling. Kiss his son, or he will be angry, and your way will lead to your destruction, for his wrath can flare up in a moment. Blessed are all who take refuge in him. That's Psalm 2, using the New International Version. So when Johnny said we were going to look at the Psalms, I volunteered to do a couple of these thoughts just because I've never read all the way through the Psalms in order. So I thought it would be a really good thing to do. And I volunteered to do a Thursday. Because Thursday's a good day for me, sort of time wise. And then I realised that I was going to do Psalm 2, and I was like, oh, that's a bit tricky. Psalm 2, it's quite one to get your head round. And so I've been chewing over it for a couple of weeks, and Johnny said when he sends out the note to everybody about talking for these thoughts, he said, just a thought from the psalm. So my initial thought, like I said, was, oh, help, Psalm 2, it's not an easy one. But my second thought is it talks to me of just how supreme, mighty, and powerful God is. It talks to me of his might. It talks to me of his infinite position of power over everything and everybody, kings, rulers, peoples of the earth. And at this time in particular, the kings and rulers of the earth and of our countries are having a pretty hard time. It is not easy being a ruler right now or in power. Particularly in our country at the moment with COVID, I would imagine it's a bit of a nightmare being a country's leader today. But you know, if they turn to God, if they turned to God, it would make such a difference, because God is ultimately in control. And when I look at our leaders and I watch the news and I hear stuff, sometimes I just think, oh my goodness, what is going on? And this psalm really challenged me two things. So the first one is the supremacy of God. Actually, we don't need to panic as Christians. We don't need to panic. God is the one who sits on the throne, on the heavenly throne. God is the one who has the power. He knows everything. He is before and after and in between. All of that, God has it covered. So that's the first thought from this psalm, is that we need to remember God's supremacy. God is in control. And secondly, it just really prompted me to think about praying for our leaders, because I don't really. unless there's something disastrous going on, and even then I don't do it regularly. It's not something that I do in my prayer time. I pray for individuals, I pray for people I know, I pray for local situations, but actually I don't tend, unless I'm in a prayer meeting or somebody's leading the prayers from front on the Sunday and mentions our government, I don't really pray for our rulers and for our leaders. And so after my initial panic about reading Psalm 2, that is what I have decided that I need to concentrate on. And so I want to invite you this Lent to do the same, to first acknowledge God's supremacy as ruler of the heavens and the earth. And secondly, to pray for our leaders, that they would turn to him and that they would submit to him, and that they too would know his supremacy. Take care.